Okay, so today we're going to be looking at India ink, the properties of India ink, the supplies we're going to need to work with India ink, and how to take care of them. So let's go ahead and get started. So India ink is a very, very rich dark ink that is water soluble when it's wet, but it's waterproof when it dries, and it can be used for all kinds of different things. It can be used in combination with watercolors, it can be used by itself, it could be used as values. So very, very popular medium that artists have been using for many, many years. In order to apply the India ink, you need several different things. Number one, you're going to need a palette. Now, palettes can be made out of anything that's non-porous. So for example, this palette is a watercolor palette and it's made out of plastic. This works really well. This one, you can take this little piece off right here. When you're done, you wash it and then you put it back and it's ready to go. And then on this side, all your watercolors will be there. I like to use this both for ink and for watercolor. Glass is a good one to go with, and porcelain. So I like to use the porcelain ones because they're super, super easy to clean. And I bought this old thing at a thrift store for a couple of bucks, so you don't have to go and spend $30, $40 on something. There's a lot of different ways to work with India ink. So for example, way back when, before brushes became real popular, artists would use bamboo. And the bamboo can be shaped to whatever design you want. You can see it right here. You can find it. When it gets dirty, you can clean it, you can sand it, and it can be reused. Then you have your dip pens, which is one of my favorite things to use. And a dip pen consists of the handle, a ferrule, and a nib. The nib can be changed. There's all kinds of different types of nibs that you can use. For the ones we're going to be using in class, we're going to be using the ones designed for drawing. So you can draw really fine lines with that. And then you can also use a variety of different brushes. So watercolor brushes work really well. They can be round like these two, or they can be flat, and they come in different sizes. So before we get into using the ink, let's go over a few little safety features. Number one, whenever you're working with the India ink, I need you to be careful with it. Make sure that when you're not using it, that you put the lid on it so we don't have any spills. And in the event of a spill, we need to clean it up like right away. Okay. Number two, whatever equipment that you're working with, you want to make sure that you are taking good care of it. So for example, if you are working with the nibs, when you're done working with them, you have to get them clean. The way that you clean the nib, you simply spray it with a little bit of glass cleaner. I'm not going to do it on camera, but you would just spray it, both sides of it. Take an old toothbrush, which I have some in the classroom, clean it, and then rinse it. After you rinse it, you want to dry it. The way that you want to dry it is you simply take it and you rub it towards you on a paper towel. That's it. Okay? You don't need to do any more than that. These don't last forever. Every once in a while they get damaged, or they break, or they get bent. If something like that happens, or if it's not working properly, please make sure that you check with me, and I'll either fix it or I'll replace it. Okay, so super easy to work with, and I'll show you that later. Brushes. We want to work with nice clean brushes, soft brushes like watercolor brushes. They can be natural like this one, or they can be synthetic, made out of plastic like this one. The big thing about cleaning the brush is that when you are cleaning them, that you clean them thoroughly. So on the containers that we use in class, you have those ribs on the bottom. That's where you're going to be wiping the brushes clean. So all you have to do, take your brush, and you're going to very gently rub it against those ribs. What that does, it helps take the ink off the bristles. Now, don't scrub so hard, don't press down so hard that you're going to damage the hair. Okay? And then when you are wiping it, make sure that you reshape the brush. So like I'm wiping it towards me, and I'm also spinning it. Or you can just spin it with your hands like this. Okay? When you store the brush, it either needs to be stored flat like that or upright like this. Never store them with the bristles facing down like this, because when they dry, those bristles will stay there. It'll damage the brush. So clean it, shape it, and store it. If you're using a flat brush, I'll use the bigger one so you guys can see where it's flat on this side but shiny on this side. It's the same thing. So rub it gently against the ribs, then wipe it on the paper towel. When I wipe it, I pull towards me so that I maintain that nice sharp. It's like a chisel. When you look at it from the side, it looks really, really sharp, but when you look at it from the front, it's actually wide. Okay. And just like the other brush, when you store them, either store them laying down or store them upright like this, not the other way. Okay. To clean the palette, all you really need to do is take it over to the sink, spray it with the Windex, and wipe it down with a paper towel. That's it. It's very, very easy to do. And that's pretty much the stuff that I really need you to make sure that you know, because India ink is actually very inexpensive, but the brushes and the pens are expensive. So we need to make sure that we take care of them properly.